Crap. All right, it is 17 minutes past 8. Our panel are with us now. Ngapuhi Elder, Kingi Taurua.
Kia ora.
Kia ora. And Paula Penfold, 3D reporter. How are you, Paula?
Good, how are you?
Very good. There's an elephant in the room and it's wood pigeon, but I'm not going to talk about it yet, Kingi.
No.
I'm not going to talk about it yet.
No.
But I'm going to ask you the question. Think about how you're going to answer. Think very carefully.
I am thinking about it now.
Because I think I
thought about it when I came here.
I can smell wood pigeon on your breath. As a former Prime Minister might have said. Let's talk Helen Clark firstly. God, it was good to see her. You know,
Isn't it?
She's great, isn't she?
She's such a leader, isn't she? And even though she never gave you the answer you wanted, I found it implicit, actually, in what she was saying.
I agree.
The message was there, wasn't it? She wants that job.
And when you do that sort of clever thing that only brilliant journalists like you and me do, when you sort of go back with the reference to it as though she has said she's going, and they don't deny it or move away. Yeah, it was fantastic. And also, wouldn't she be great for the job?
I think she would be supremely good for the job, and it would be good for New Zealand if she got the job. That, you know, the organisation needs its mojo back, doesn't it? It's been a bit quiet of late, and she's fearsome as a leader, and I think she has the potential to really shake things up, and that's exactly what it needs.
It's a brilliant response to it. It needs its mojo back. I mean, some people would argue that it never really had it, but yeah, she would be fantastic. Kingi, you of course have had a lot to do with Helen Clark.
I had a lot to do with Helen Clark. I was her advisor when she was the Minister of Social Welfare way back quite some years ago, and she was a very astute she's a very astute person.
She's very smart, isn't she? Very smart. And you're right with astute. Like I always admired her as a politician. Didn't like her politics one bit, but I always admired her as a politician.
I think she's very, very, you know, quite true. She's very smart, and she was a person who actually is a good leader. She leads and that kind of thing. So I was very impressed with Helen Clark.
And of course, on Waitangi days, you for a number of years had a lot to do with her up at Waitangi at the Lower Marae, and you were there. In fact, I think I recall you consoling her to a degree that, and this is one of those landmark things in the history of this country, I think, in terms of specific small moments when she was brought to tears in the Lower Marae. Yes.
I really feel sorry for Helen because when she stood up and she was invited to give a speech, and when she did, of course, Tite Pai actually
just
challenged
held it down,
held it down, and she cried, you know, and then she went out, and of course she left the marae, and I was one that tried to console her, you know, and I really feel sorry for Helen. Yeah,
it was such a pressure environment. I think a lot of people who don't spend much time on a marae, particularly in the meeting house, don't realise that it is actually quite a pressure environment, isn't it? You can imagine the emotions she would have been going through.
It's a lot of pressure there. There's a lot of people, of course, you know, are not supportive of policies. You know, with the National or Labour Party policies, they're not supported. So there's always challenges. There's challenge all the time inside the marae. It is the place where Maori feel that is their parliament, where they can actually get the opportunity to challenge any policies the government has.
Would you be happy to see her as Secretary General of the UN?
I would be very, very happy, as long as she appoints me as her advisor. I'll be bang on.
Well, she gave you a nice smile as she was walking out of the studio.
Yes, she said how I am.
She's a tricky one. You can't read too much. Did you get a kiss?
Yes. Got a kiss as well.
I didn't get a bloody kiss.
Well, you see, you're not married. You see, when you're married,
you're right.
It's only married you get all these.
No, she's a politician through and through. She knows who she has to curry favour with. Right. Talking of curry, wood pigeon. Are you surprised, Paula, how much trouble Sunny Toe has got into over this?
Not at all. That was
really. It's just 5 wood pigeon.
They're 5 kiriru. You cannot go there. Have you seen how beautiful they are in the bush?
Have you seen how many there are?
Are there lots, are there?
Well, there are lots over my house.
There's a lot in Wellington.
There are. And no one can say they're endangered because those I'm seeing more and more every year.
It's just a fact that it's protected bird. It's protected under LAW. It's also under LORE, Maori law. They are protected birds. So Sunny should adhere to those laws with a Pākehā law, Maori law. And so that anyway. Well, let me say to this. I think it wasn't a pigeon. It wasn't a keriru. I think it was a seagull.
Oh, okay.
I think
because this is a cunning way around a rule, isn't it?
Yeah, dressed in
a cloak or something.
Pigeon cloak.
It was a seagull.
Have
you ever, Paula, eaten one?
Never. Have you?
Because, I haven't, but I watch them fly over and I think, geez, I can see why Māori used to eat them.
So
because they
easy.
look they're like flying sheep.
Well,
they
it's
look
because they're drunk, right?
Yeah, that's right. And they're self-basting, aren't they, Kingi? Because
inside.
they eat all the kinds of things that you'd normally sprinkle over
they're
it.
beautiful with miro. But I'm not going to tell you that I ate them, but I'm just saying they're beautiful with miro. It smells, when they cook them, it smells lovely. Because the miro berries are very, very, smells beautiful. And so when you stuff it into the bird, you know, I've never eaten one. I've never eaten one. No, never touched it.
You've just prepared one for others. All right, Kingi, thank you very much. Paula, thank you. The panel will be back discussing other things in just a moment. All right, welcome back. Great to have you with us. 26 minutes past 8 on a Friday morning. Kingi Taurua and Paula Penfold are with me on the panel this morning. Paula, new stats just out. Well, they're not stats, it's a survey, and it lines up with a survey that I read a couple of months ago that women apologise more than men. And the consideration in this survey is that women quite often, and probably men, but to a less degree, are apologising entirely unnecessarily.
New Zealanders apologise more than anybody else does as well. Yeah, women, I apologise way too much, and then I'm sorry for being sorry. It's just crazy.
Do you instantly recognise that, particularly in the workplace, when you've found you've just said sorry for something, you've thought, what the hell did I say that for?
That you're actually not sorry for.
Yeah.
I know, it's insane. I don't know why I do it. I need to fix that.
Yes. Yeah. Look. I'm on the way down to South Island. I'm taking a group of marriage there to apologise to Ngaita.
So, yeah, that is slightly different, Kingi. That is what we call an official apology.
It's a marriage going to apologise.
Yeah.
You see,
God, if you had $1 for every... Oh, hang on, you have. All right, let's talk rugby. So, Highlanders, Hurricanes. Who's going to win this, Kingi? And do you care?
No, I don't really care. I don't really care who wins the all, but I think I'll back the underdogs, which is down the South Island.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. The Highlanders are absolutely the underdogs.
Of course, I'm past Scotch.
But the reason you don't care, of course, is that neither of your teams are in it.
No, that's right.
Which is your team? You'd be the Blues, wouldn't you?
I'm North.
Yeah.
There's a line.
Someone has to support the Blues.
Yeah.
Now, you are not a sports person, really, Paula Riley.
Really?
You just don't get it.
Oh, look, the theatre is interesting. The colour is fun. I don't give a fat rat's ass about the results, quite frankly, but my team's not in. I'm a Hamilton girl. Chiefs aren't there. They never really are there, actually, are they?
Seriously, are they your team? Are they your team, seriously? Are they, or are you just trying to buy into this?
I think I might be trying to join in here. I don't care. I'm sorry. Is that unpatriotic of me to say so?
Have you ever been to a rugby game and thought, geez, that was really good entertainment?
Yeah, my son's game every Saturday.
Oh, no, that doesn't count, does it? You're going,
count.
No, that's just blood is thicker than water.
Yeah,
that doesn't count. How about you, Kingi? Best rugby game you've ever seen?
I love rugby. I always love watching rugby. And netball. Of course, my daughter used to coach.
Of course.
Of course, she used to coach Magic. So, netball.
Best rugby game you've ever seen?
Netball.
Best rugby game?
Oh, the All Blacks were on World Cup.
Which one? The final. Jim, best rugby game?
The All Blacks Australia Sydney 2000, I think it was. They called it the game of the century, and they won in the last minute, having scored 3 tries in about the first 10. Yeah.
And when you've got those things where it's hanging in the balance at the end.
Yeah, it was a cracker.
Hillary?
Semi-final last Rugby World Cup Australia.
We watched it together, didn't we?
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, New Zealand weren't even playing. For me, it was the World Cup, Australia, Ireland. God, that was a great game.
That was an amazing match.
That was a great game.
That actually was an amazing match.
And to be there when the Australians at Eden Park realised that there wasn't one Australian supporter there, that everyone wanted, all the New Zealanders wanted the Irish to win.
We actually printed off the Irish national anthem and stood up as a family and sang it.
That was a great game.
That's great.
Hey, Paula, Kingi, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah.
We need to get together and shoot some things out of the sky and have a good feast.
Yeah, with my mug, because I'm selling them up north. You see, they reckon it's good for marijuana seeds, planting marijuana seeds.
Is there anything
underneath
offensive you haven't said yet?
Marijuana.
Kingi, thanks so much for coming down. Paula, brilliant. All righty.